The Lost Libraries of Timbuktu, Africa's Forgotten Knowledge. They told us Africa had no written history. But what if I told you that deep in the Sahara Desert, in the city of Timbuktu, there were once great libraries, holding hundreds of thousands of books, when Europe was still in the Dark Ages? This is the story of the lost libraries of Timbuktu, the knowledge Africa gave the world, and how it was hidden from us. Africa, the center of knowledge. In the 14th to 16th century, Timbuktu was not just a city. It was a center of learning, a university town, and the pride of the Mali Empire. At its height, Timbuktu had more books than the entire library of Alexandria after it was burned. Think about that. Hundreds of thousands of manuscripts on science, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, law, and philosophy, all written by African scholars. While Europe was struggling through plague and superstition, Timbuktu was debating the motion of planets, advanced surgery, and the ethics of law. The Universities of Timbuktu. Timbuktu was home to great centers of learning like Sankore University. Imagine thousands of students from across Africa and even the Middle East traveling there to learn. They studied mathematics centuries before Pythagoras was credited. They wrote about medicine long before Europe's medical schools existed. And they debated astronomy while Europe still thought the Earth was flat. What happened to the libraries? But here's the tragedy. Much of this knowledge was erased. First, invaders like the Moroccans looted Timbuktu in the 16th century. Later, French colonial powers dismissed Africa's history as primitive. They burned manuscripts, stole thousands, and claimed Africa had no written tradition. Yet, against all odds, African families risked their lives to save them. For centuries, Timbuktu families hid manuscripts in wooden chests, in cellars, even underground. Some are still being uncovered today. Why this matters today? So why weren't we taught this in school? Because colonial education wanted us to believe Africa had no history, no knowledge, no contribution to civilization. But the truth is, Africa was the teacher of the world. These manuscripts prove it. Africa produced philosophy, science, mathematics, and law that shaped humanity long before Europe's so-called Enlightenment. The lost libraries of Timbuktu are not just Africa's heritage, they're humanity's heritage. They remind us that knowledge belongs to the world, not to those who rewrite history. And this is why we must reclaim our story. Because when we know where we come from, we'll never let anyone erase us again. Before we go deeper into Africa's forgotten knowledge, make sure you hit subscribe and share so you don't miss the next chapter. And at the end, drop your thoughts in the comments. Why do you think Africa's libraries were erased from our history books?